Would you have preferred this gown like this or shorter? Anywho, I made mine short, by the way. This is what my client ordered and this is what she got. It came out so well that it inspired me to make mine, but shorter and in a different color. For my client, I used a total of 3.5 yards of thick crepe, and for me, I used 2 yards, which cost $2.5 each. So I spent a total of about 5,000 for this dress. Here are some of the materials I'm going to be using for this tutorial, and lucky for me, I got the exact color of material for this. I have about 3 yards here, but I later went to the market to get extra 1 yard because the person I'm sewing for is big, but for the blue one I made, I used just 2 yards. For the center front, you are going to fold in about 5 inches. That's where the buttons and the buttonhole is going to be, and also to turn the collar as well. My pattern paper is 26 inches long, which is exactly my shoulders to my hip line. I'm going to complete the length when I'm cutting on my fabric, so make sure you watch to the end so you will see how I cut it. I am marking my points now: my chest line, my bust point, my waistline, and my hip line, after which I will rule. So I will impute my shoulder measurements, which I'll also mark on my chest line, my shoulder slope by 1 inch, and my neck width, which is 3.5. The neck depth for this gown is going to be 1 inch above my chest line, but if you want it a little bit opened, just stay exactly on your chest line. Get the midpoint of your armhole line and you go in by 0.5, but for me I went in by 0.75 because the person I'm sewing for is of a bigger size. Now you connect in a curve to hit your chest line. The nipple to nipple measurement is 4.5. I'll place that on my hip, my waistline, and my bust line. For your princess dart, get your bust round circumference measurements divided by 4. Place it there. Now you measure your armhole curve and you get the midpoint of the armhole curve. On the hip line, I'm going to go out by 0.5 inch on the dart leg, and on the waistline, I'm going out by 0.75 on both sides of the dart leg. The thing is, you can decide to still maintain 0.5 inches on both sides on the waistline, but this is what I prefer. On the bust point, go down by 1/2 inch, then you connect it to the dart legs on the waistline. Again, on the bust point, you go up by 1/2 inch. On the midpoint at the armhole curve, you go out on both sides by 0.75 or 1/2 inch. For me, I use 0.75 for this. Connect those points to meet the point you went up by 1/2 inch on the bust point line. Measure what you have between the dart intake. So I had 1.5. I'm replacing it back on the chest line round circumference measurement. On the bottom dart leg, I'm still going to go out by that same 1.5 too. Connect to meet that point on the chest line like this. What you have on the chest line, place it on the bust line as well. Now impute your waist round circumference divided by 4. Replace your dart intake. Impute your hip round circumference divided by 4. Also replace your dart intake on the hip line. The bust point is going to remain the same, but there is ease on the waistline, so I'm going to just add 1 inch for ease. On the hip line, I added 2 inches for ease, but later I reduced it to 1.5 inch. So I'm going to be adding allowance now. I added 2 inches stitching allowance to the sides. Now we are done with the front pattern. Let's go draft the back pattern. I've already drawn out the important points for my back pattern, so let's just get started with the main alteration. So for the neck is going to be 3.5 inches in width. I'm going to mark that right there. The neck depth is going to be 1 inch. Get the midpoint of your armhole length. Impute your bust round circumference measurements on the chest line. Now you connect that curve. For this, we are not going in by 1/2 inch on the armhole curve. So impute your waist measurement, add your ease, which is 1 inch. Impute your hip measurement and also impute your ease, which mine was 1.5. So for the allowance for this, I'm going to be adding it on the when I'm cutting the fabric, so no need. Also know that the back is going to be cut on fold because there is no zip at the back. So I'm just showing you how I cut it on my fabric. I added allowance to the shoulders, the armhole, and the full length was the hip measurement divided by 4 plus 3 inches. This is my collar. This is the one I've sewn before. So this is how you are going to measure it. From this shoulder point to this shoulder point is the back neckline. So you measure to see what you have. As you can see, for me it's exactly 7.5. This is going to be divided into 2 when we are drafting our pattern. Now the next thing is this front neck depth. This is the front neck depth. So when you place it here, you place your tape on the shoulders, also on the shoulder joining, and then you take it all the way to where your buttonhole starts, not where it stops. Okay, you take it where it starts, which is on this point right here. And since the two front is already divided by reason of this, just 10, no need to divide the 10 again. Okay everyone, so let's draft the collar for this. As you can see, I already have my starting line, and this collar is going to comprise of the front and the back. The division is going to be by a straight line. Now first of all, what we are going to do is to get our calculation. This point is going to be my back, and this point is going to be the front part. So I'm going to leave that now. So the measurement for my back is 7.5 inches. So this 7.5 inches is the full back. So divided by 2 is going to give me 3.75 inches. The front is just 10 inches. So I'm going to measure 3.75 inches on the back side. For the front, place your tape on that broken line that you made and you measure 10 inches. My 10 inches. Okay, we are going to be getting the length of our collar. For mine, I used 4 inches. I know it sounds like 4 inches is too long for a collar, but the trick here is there is no collar stand. So when the collar folds on itself, it's going to reduce the length and it will stay exactly at 3 inches when it's folded. Because we want it to relax on the center back, you are going to go up by 1/2 an inch, blend it into the line. I will extend that line out, then come out by 5 inches, connect it to meet the 10 inches at the bottom to make my collar points. This is the top part and this is the bottom part. So this is it for the collar. When you are cutting, you are going to cut this place on fold. Alright, so that it will just be one long collar. Just from looking at this dress, you know that it's easy to sew. Although I didn't put out the entire sewing process, I filmed important sewing parts that I probably know you might find difficulties with, like the collar and the center front area. So let's begin. You remember that the 5 inches allowance we gave at the center front? Now exactly at the midpoint, you are going to go out by 1 inch. This is where your buttons and your buttonholes are going to be. But I would advise you go out on both sides by 1/2 an inch, not 1 inch. Because when I use 1 inch on this, you could see that the space, instead of it to be a V, is now going as a U. Now you can see mine I used 1/2 inch on has that perfect V. So use 1/2 inch and not 1 inch. To get the folding at the bottom, it's basically you just have to use your head. Originally I gave 5 inches, right? So when I sewed it to the side front, I used 1/2 an inch to sew, so it's now 4.5 plus the 1/2 inch for the buttons and buttonholes. That's now going to be 5 inches. So that's another method, you can try it out. So that is it for the center front. Let's move to the collar. For the collar, we've already drafted this. So this is when I was done cutting it and sewing. You are going to get the midpoint of the collar and also get the round neck midpoint of the fabric you are sewing. Hope that makes sense. Indicate those midpoints both on your collar and on your dress. For the placement, you are going to place the wrong side of your collar on the right side of your material. The wrong side of your collar on the right side of your material. You know, normally it's supposed to be right side facing each other, but for this, it's wrong side of the collar facing the right side of your dress. So I'm going to pin my fabric to my collar, then I'll take it to the sewing machine and sew. At the end of the collar, you are going to measure out the inches you gave for your button and button holes. For me, you know, I gave 1 inch, so that's why I'm measuring 1 inch. You know, I also advised you to give half of an inch, so you will measure half of an inch. I will mark that point right there, then I will fold the collar turning, that is the 5 inches allowance we gave. It's like sandwiching the collar itself. So after folding, you pin down. You see that allowance that we are going to use to cut to turn the collar? Yes, you are going to make sure that it's relaxed to the bottom. It doesn't matter how it's going to be at the top. Yes, it doesn't matter if it doesn't align directly to it. Just make sure that it's relaxed perfectly and then go ahead and pin. After you've pinned and you confirm it's relaxed, it doesn't matter if there is extra of the turning coming out. Take it to the sewing machine, sew the button allowance and follow the line already created by the collar. So this is how relaxed it should be. Just make sure that it flows naturally to the top. If in the process of trying to make it relaxed there was allowance, you cut it off. I did my best to make sure that you understand, but just in case you don't understand, just leave your questions in the comments and I'm going to reply.